Hey everyone, welcome back to Bulldog Weekly. I'm Chris.
And I'm Michaela.
On this week's episode, we'll be listening to a conversation about Martin Luther King Day, playing a board game, and interviewing Mr. Linane.
But before we get to that, here's Mr. Devoll with the week ahead and Bill Tilden with sports.
Welcome everybody. Today is Sunday, January 23rd, and welcome to the Rundown. We are approaching a 5-day week. Imagine that, 5 days of school coming up. Monday's the 24th. It's day 4 in our calendar. So this is an interesting week because it actually ends term 2, that's Thursday the 27th, and then begins term 3, Friday the 28th. It's actually a changeover in semesters. So any student that's taking a half-year course, that course ends on the 27th and a brand new course begins on the 28th. Everyone has half-year directed studies, so you'll have a new study starting on Friday. So you get your new schedule in your Bulldog block on Monday. So everyone's getting a new schedule as we transition from semester 1 to semester 2. So that's the big news this week. Monday will be Mentor Monday in the Bulldog block. Our Bulldog block is kind of a full week this week, so we're going to use Tuesday for Tin Whistle Tuesday and the Tea Club. Wednesday, we'll have mental health group meeting with Ms. Ochoa. Personal finance will continue through junior achievement and the combined chorus with Mr. Barnacle. Thursday is going to be the Cultural Club of Old Rochester. Friday, yoga, combined band, and knitting or crocheting. So the big news this week, end of term 2, get your work turned in, and we'll turn the page to term 3 and also semester 2. Have a good one, everybody.
Nice toss, Mr. Devoll. Busy week in Bulldog sports this week. Yesterday, we had our hands full at home with Somerset Berkeley. They took it to our boys' teams on all 3 levels, but they were some close games. Freshman game went to overtime. The others came right down to the buzzer. The girls on the reverse side, these games were for Tuesday, January 18th, had a big win. They're looking very solid going into this Friday's game. That's probably one of the highlights. Friday the 21st, the girls are hosting Apponequet. That night we're also going to lower the state championship banner for our girls volleyball team just before that game at 6:30. So if you want to come catch both, 6:30 on Friday the 21st. The boys are headed out to Apponequet. That should be a great game no matter what. Every single year that Apponequet game is a very physical game. Tonight is hockey night, January 19th. The boys are hosting Upper Cape down at Falmouth Arena at 5:10, and then we're shooting over to Gallo for a home game with the girls. They are facing Nauset. Both should be some competitive games that we're looking forward to. Track on Thursday the 20th. We'll be facing off with Dighton Rehoboth for the league championship. Both teams are undefeated. Looking forward to that. Should be a close meet all the way through. And swim had a meet yesterday. I haven't heard what those results were. On January 18th, they faced off with Middleborough, and they're right back in action on Thursday the 20th, where they're going to be Durfee in their brand new pool. So good luck to them. Great job to the Bulldog, all our Bulldog teams, and back to the Bulldog crew. Thanks.
Thanks for that informative update.
First up today, we have a conversation about Martin Luther King with Miss Hall. We'll vote that now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a talk about Martin Luther King Day. I'm joined by Miss Hall.
Hello.
We have the privilege of having her here. She teaches multicultural English here, and we're going to talk a little bit about some Black history. What would you say is one of the key things that Martin Luther King would have said or did?
So he has some main takeaways. One is the idea of peaceful protest and working together. One of his famous quotes is that he chooses love above hate. And I think that in general is a nice rule to live by when you can. But also he really pushed for equality and standing up for your rights, and when you are being disrespected, to actually speak up and say something and do something about it. And so I think that those are all really important lessons for all of our students to learn.
As a teacher, why is it so important to you to educate your students about Black history?
Because it's our history. I mean, it's history traditionally has been very one-sided when it's been taught. I know that years ago they said, history is taught by the victors, but it's not only the victors, it's taught by those who are in power. And traditionally in our society, in American society, those who have been in power, if you even look at our government, have been white, cisgendered, heterosexual men. So that is the perspective that we're getting for most of our history and most of the lessons that we learn. It's through the eyes of those people. Whereas it's important to learn history through other lenses as well. One of the most important, seeing that our country is made up of a lot of people of color, is looking at history through that lens.
What would you say was the most pivotal moment during the civil rights movement?
Oh, goodness. Oh, there are a couple different ones for different reasons that I feel that way. And one big one is Ruby Bridges going to schools and going to a school, even though she was a young girl, and desegregating that school. And I can't even imagine the amount of controversy and hate and fear this little girl must have had. But I think it was a pivotal time for education, because it really did change the way schools have functioned. And from there, we've moved into, there was the busing movements of the 70s, which people may argue had some success, had definitely some not success, I guess is how you would say it.
How would you encourage students to learn about Black history?
Oh, goodness. I would encourage students, first and foremost, to read from all different perspectives when it comes to gender, race, sexuality, really to reflect a huge gamut of what this country represents, and only then can you really understand where other people are coming from. And even then, you realizing that you always have more to learn. But I think that is a great place to start, is through reading.
Awesome. That's all we have for today. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you.
It's good to be having these conversations.
Next up, we have the board game. Hope you all enjoy.
Hello everyone, I am Tyler,
I'm Michaela.
I'm Chris.
and this is TGC, or Tyler's Game Corner. Today we are playing Chameleon. Chameleon is a game of blending in and convincing others around you that you know what you're talking about. A lot of the game will become evident as we begin to play it, and I'm sure I'll put up some graphics with explanations for how to do this, but right now,
I feel like I'll be good
We're
at
gonna
this.
get these
'cause I
cards.
do English Socratic seminars.
we're going to figure out what roles we are. One person here is going to the Chameleon. I'll put something above their head. And then we're going to roll these dice and then try and say a word adjacent to words on those cards. It'll all make sense in a second. There. We are rolling.
Up.
College.
Wolf.
Hot.
Vacation.
You don't keep going. We just have to ask questions now. So what was your original word that you said?
Up.
Up? What did you say?
College.
College. I said wolf.
Girl, what?
Define up in this context.
Up north.
Okay.
You know, because when you go up, you go north.
Okay.
I applied to a college in the state.
Well, you can effectively apply to a college in any state, so I feel like
But if
saying college is a really safe bet here.
If you think of the colleges I applied to.
Yeah, I can
Well, you
think
applied
of the
to-
colleges you applied
Okay.
to.
Out of your list, the word, the word that it is.
I
Out of
don't
all the
think you applied
colleges-
to college here.
How do you know my list? I applied to 13.
Because you told me a good amount of them, and
Yeah.
none of them were in North Carolina.
I feel like-
mean,
Chameleon.
I
But
applied to a school in North Carolina, guys.
so you're it.
No.
Well, I'm not it.
You do realize I applied to UNC Greensboro.
You never told me that, so I wouldn't have known that.
You were in art class when you were talking about it.
I choose to ignore everyone.
Remember the day Bell
Chameleon.
Kelly was subbing that day, and I said, "Oh, I applied to South Carolina and UNC Greensboro."
Oh, you did say that, actually. You did say that.
Chameleon.
I applied to UNC Greensboro for studio art because I want to be a photographer.
No, I think it's you. You're so quick to put it
Yeah.
on Michaela. You were so quick to put it on Michaela.
I applied to UNC Greensboro for studio art and journalism.
How? We didn't switch the cards up, right? This is the same 3 that we've had?
Yeah.
Then, what?
Wait, everyone show your cards.
Why?
Okay, Chameleon.
Okay.
Then how did you know it was North Carolina?
He said it.
When?
He accidentally said it. He said, "Oh, you didn't apply to a school in North Carolina."
Yeah, I did
Chris.
say that.
Okay.
That was a good one. I didn't apply to UNC Greensboro, by the way.
I
Under
just
the
heard you
sea.
talking about it.
I applied to University of South Carolina in College of Charleston.
This is essentially the segment's going to become just us trying to do a board game, and I'm still going to use all of this footage, and maybe we get one good round out of it.
Me trying to get
This is at least
actually
gonna be
good.
fun to watch.
Under the sea.
This is what I do in English class for Socratic seminars.
Alrighty. Rolling.
Sting.
Steve
Poison.
Irwin.
What'd you say?
Poison.
Steve Irwin.
Girl, what? Who is that?
No, that makes sense.
I don't know who that is.
It's Steve Irwin.
That doesn't help
The
me.
Australian Zoo.
The Australian guy
Bindi Irwin.
that died to this thing.
Girl, I've never heard of this.
Love you just banging his head right now.
Who is Steve Irwin?
How do you not know who Steve Irwin is? Did you not watch his Crocodile Adventures?
Wait,
growing
okay,
up?
what did you say?
I said Sting.
Okay,
What'd you say?
I said poison.
Oh, you're the chameleon.
Yeah.
Because that you can follow along pretty easily.
Oh, yeah.
You're the chameleon. Sting and
That is
poison
true.
go hand in hand. If I said Steve Irwin out of no context, not knowing this, it would. I'm like not the chameleon. It's pretty.
Wait a minute. Wait, was that Steve Irwin was the guy who died from a different animal, not the one I'm thinking of.
No.
The crocodile hunter, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, not the one I'm thinking of. I thought he died from a different animal.
You're thinking of the wrong Steve Irwin.
Girl, is there two?
No, like Steve Irwin died from a sting of a certain animal.
Not the one I'm thinking of.
What are you thinking of?
Unless I read this wrong.
Unless I don't know my Steve Irwin trivia facts, which I probably.
No, I didn't. I read that right.
I think Tyler's the chameleon because sting and poison go hand in hand.
That is true. That is true. But I also think it's you because, the one that I know of, Steve Irwin didn't die from the animal I know of, that I know. That's on my card.
How would I have guessed Steve Irwin with not knowing which animal it was?
Sting.
Sting and poison go hand in hand. I'm still convinced it's Tyler.
Voting.
Tyler.
I vote Michaela.
Kayla.
It's not. It's Tyler.
You see, when I said Sting, I thought you meant like stingray.
No, he died
'Cause
from a jellyfish.
I heard it was a stingray.
Are you kidding?
It was a stinger.
Okay, but still, how would have I wrong animal, but I still got it.
Either way,
Sorry.
way, I would have won the round because I immediately knew Stingray because of you. Because I, as the chameleon, after the round is over, get to make a guess at what the real word is.
No, but
And you have to remember that.
it was blatantly obvious that he was the chameleon.
No, it was jellyfish.
Yeah, but it was blatantly obvious if you said sting and he said poison.
Yeah, but because when I said Sting, you said that guy, and I was like, that wasn't a good
Yes.
round.
Thank you, everyone. This has been TGC, or Tyler's Game Corner. Thank you to my two fellow castmates here and friends.
And I'm the winner.
I believe I'll tally up the votes later. I don't want to just say who's the winner now.
I made a comeback from the candy game.
But it was a lot of fun. I don't know if I'll do another one of these, but thank you for watching.
I wasn't at
And
the
see you back in
Chameleon.
the studio.
Bye.
I was literally never the chameleon.
That was awesome.
Last up today, we have an interview with Mr. Linane. Let's take a look.
So we can get started then. All right. So what is your name and what do you teach at Old Rochester?
So my name is MJ Linane, and I teach computer science at Old Rochester. So do you want to know more about the classes, or?
Yeah, I guess I'll be asking more.
All right, I won't rush you.
Yeah. So is it the only subject that you have taught, or have there been other subjects in the past that you've taught?
Yeah, actually, it was maybe last year at some point, I counted out how many courses I actually taught here. And it turned out to be something like either 21 or 22 different courses since 2007. And so yeah, I've taught a bunch of other ones. Half of those have been since I became a computer science teacher. Before that, I was a history teacher. But I've either, out of those, like I said, I think it was like 21, 22. Out of those courses, half were pre-built, like here's a course, here's the curriculum, teach it. And the other half was just a proposal of an idea that I had to create the curriculum for. So, yeah, I've taught a lot. Those are, like I said, the number of them, like I said, split. So I can talk more about the courses, but if you have,
Okay, yeah. So it's like with the current subject that you're teaching now, do you enjoy teaching it?
Yeah, and so I teach computer science now. So my curriculum consists of sections of game design, like an introduction to programming, which is like a computer science for all, but it just serves as an introduction to programming, computer science for anyone interested. It applies to many different fields. So we cover things like the internet and data storage and how computers work, and so things that are fundamental to, everyone's understanding of how computers are everywhere now. You can't avoid them. Mm-hmm. So then I teach that as an introductory class, and then I have these other classes that offer like supplemental. So I have Game Design 1, Game Design 2, that look at designing and programming games. As you were in that class.
Yeah.
And then I have a multimedia class, which is kind of like a user experience, user interface design class. So we do things like photo editing and like visual design. Right now we just finished up like SVG design and like a kind of like Adobe Illustrator clone software that we use. And then we're just diving into like some light animation work with, if you see like a mobile phone animations, but we'll do character animations as a part of that as well too. So that's, but then I also teach web design, and I teach a couple of AP classes as well too in computer science.
Yeah. So what do you look forward to like when you're teaching like the students and all of that?
Like what makes me happy in the experience?
Yeah, I would say that.
I think it depends on the course. So what I always liked about these courses, as opposed to when I was teaching history, is that students are creating. And like you could argue like, okay, they're creating in those classes, they're creating a poster or a slide presentation, or even the Powtoon, even in the little creative cartoon. But it wasn't an everyday thing, And that was the biggest difference for me, is coming down and teaching the computer science courses, was that every day students are doing something cool. And that's what gets me excited. So like when I saw, like when you come in, you design all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like, seriously, you're a great designer. You come in here, and so some classes like game design, I like when you come in, students like yourself, and I'll show you the tools. I teach you how to use them, and then there's a part where you get to just modify or build what you imagine, right? So I think the level of creativity that I've seen has been top notch. I mean, it's been awesome. So I'll walk around the room just looking at stuff that people create that I wouldn't even think of, and just think that this is the coolest thing in the world, Otherwise, in my other classes that are not game design, those are my game design classes. So like that class in multimedia design. But my other problem solving class is more like computer science for all, and my AP classes, it's more like the moment that I just had it happen today, where the moment where a student will be working on a problem, and that this can happen, and when you're doing programming, that you're on this problem for days, maybe hours, and all of a sudden something. You arrange it in such a way, you solve the problem, and you click the run button, and all of a sudden it works. And it's that feeling of like excitement, like
it was like, oh, thank God.
Right. Some of them have been relieved, right?
Yeah.
Some people like our victory, they'll clench their fists and be like, yes, It's this like moment of like joy. And I had it happen today where a girl was like, she clicked run and our program ran. She'd been working on this for like 3 days. She put her hand over her mouth. She's like, "Oh my God, it worked!" And that was a cool moment for me. So that's what I like. So it's the moments of discovery, either that somebody can build what they imagined, that actually works and works as you intended, or the relief that it works. The old thing. But it's exciting.
Wait, Mr. Linane was a history teacher?
Teachers and students, if you would like to have something filmed and shown here on Bulldog Weekly, please let us know at the ORC TV station.
Be sure to check out all of our social media channels for everything we film here at ORC TV. We film sports games, town meetings, school events, and so much more.
That wraps up this episode of Bulldog Weekly. Until next time, I'm Chris.
And I'm Michaela.
And this has been Bulldog Weekly.